Welcome to the ProvelCAD tutorial on transtibial socket design. Here's what a downloaded digitized image looks like, complete with a few landmarks that were highlighted in the cast. Now the orientation of the cast in a mechanical digitizer it's important and will affect the shape when templates are applied. Basically bench align the cast in the digitizer, make sure it's not skewed from the front to the back. The regions that make up a template are linked to a landmark, and the posterior regions are linked to the mid-patellar tendon. So let's get started. I like to start with cleaning up the distal end. So basically a couple wraps around here in the sand and fill will take care of that. Okay, now the distal end's cleaned up. The rest of it, maybe a couple of times with the smoothing, clean it up a little more. Now we got to give it some landmarks. So we'll tell it we want some BK landmarks. Okay. Mid-patellar tendon. And a tibial crest. And a tibial end. We're done with that. It's also going to need to know if it's a left or a right. If you forget that step, you'll get some error message in the modification stack. You can go back and tell it that it's a right. Now we want to apply a template. Templates are just common modification regions that are linked together and applied to the model all at once. So a good template will get you really close, really fast. Let's get some. This one happens to be a liner template. We'll open that up. Okay. Now you're going to want to double check the length, and the easiest way to do that is to look in the changes view, and we can look in here, check the mid-patellar tendon to the distal end, and it's not uncommon. I'm going to want about the default value, 5 mil. That's good to know. From here to the bottom. So we just stretch it out a little bit. Best way to do that is along the crest of the tibia. You know, maybe right between here and here. We're going to lengthen it 5 millimeters. Done. Okay, now we're going to look it over and fine tune it with some region modifications. The regions are listed in a modification stack over here. It can easily be modified or removed if you want to see how another template works. I'll just kind of run through it real quick. Okay, I just start with the long region list. Just at the beginning. 6 millimeters lower. Looks good there. I'm not going to change that. Tibial crest. Maybe get a little more room here. The bound, you can move these handles. This is boundary points. These are some apex points. That'll be fine. Lateral tibial flare. I don't need to change that. Tibial end. How about opening up this a little? As you can see from the blue, it gives you a little broader area. That ought to be alright. Let's check out the medial. And maybe you want to raise a region up a little bit. In this case, I double clicked and that'd be about the place we want the region, but perhaps the apex was fine. We can move it down where it was. Check on the medial tibial flare. I think I'll move that up a little bit as well. Just you can click anywhere on one of those handles and shift the whole region around. I think I'll do that. Looks fine, but I think I'll do this. Reshape it a little. There we go. Posterior trim. Oh, this all gets cut away anyway. I think I'll give it some magnitude so that it's easier to obviously find the trim line. We'll just enter a 6 in. How's that? Oh, there was our magnitude. Maybe we'll do a little reshaping here. Yeah, these are boundary points. Apex points. It goes from the boundary to the apex. And let's just move some things around. Maybe a little extra hamstring relief. That should be fine. Check out the bulge. Okay, -4. Maybe we'll do 5. 4 is usually good. Okay, fibular head. That looks a little bit low. The digitizer didn't grab the landmarks, but I know from the profile we're looking there. It's a little bit low. Boom. This one's only raising at 2. Maybe we have a prominent fibular head. We can go. The liner ones, the regions are essentially about half of what, say, a P-light liner would be, where you might have 6 or even 7. It still works well to have a little bit, but about half as much with the gel liners, depending on your liner too. Okay, looks good. So where it's at now, that was a long string of regions focused from the patella down, but maybe since this guy is pretty short, BK, we want a little extra support above the condyles. Now these regions are here, but they don't have any magnitude. I'm going to actually give it some on the medial. I'll take away 2. There we go. It's kind of giving a little extra medial. And let's go with lateral support 2. Hit the lateral. Lower that maybe 1. How's that? Okay, great. What we're going to want to do from here, look it over a little bit and save. How about save Chris here as a socket. Great. Okay, there are of course other features that could be applied to the model depending on your needs. You might want to define the distal end, incorporate a shuttle lock, or even apply a custom trim line template to minimize potential fabrication errors. The custom trim line doesn't have to be a template. It can be, though, if you routinely do the same mods. And all that's left is to export for fabrication in an AOP format. So we export in an AOP format. There's Chris Craft's socket. I know I did it before. All right. Central fab facilities are going to want to know what you want them to make, so you'll want to provide that information as well. Thanks for taking the time to watch.